Well, good morning. So happy to be here today. I'm Ana Ormaechea. I'm Chief Digital Officer for radios in Prisa Media. So my main focus today will be talking about 3 points. There we go. There we go. So I'll cover 3 of these points. Like first one, we're gonna do like in a couple of minutes is what we are doing as a company, the whole company. We are not doing like amazing stuff. We are doing the same as the rest. So I'm not gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on radio station. That is what we are here today. And there we are gonna talk about distribution and voice. So surprisingly, at the middle of this conversation, we should take a 2 minutes break. So you will go outside, and when you come back, I will be here still. So it's quite a strange structure, but here we go. So Prisa Media, you may know us. We are like the biggest publisher on Spanish in the world. We have El País, us, and all the radio stations. So as Prisa Media, what we are doing, I think that very similar as the rest of companies are doing. We started early, like having agreements with AI tech companies. We have agreements with OpenAI, we have agreements with Perplexity and some others. Why we did that? Well, in one side is it's an economic side, of course, but in the other, we are really like working and learning with them. For example, I'm not going to talk today about that, but El País, we have built a chatbot for subscribers in El País, and we have been developing with OpenAI. So, I mean, it's good. It's amazing for us, like really learning from the best companies right now on the AI ecosystem. And the rest, okay, we have a compliance committee, which is like everything that we need to start with a new AI tool. We need to ask permission in this committee. We are working in all our workflow, not only on the newsroom, but the whole company, using Copilot. We have a lot of training, inside training, and we also have AI protocols. So I think very similar to the rest. So what about radio stations? That we are here to talk about radio stations and how are we using the AI here? Well, in our brand areas, we work in 12 countries, mostly in 4, Colombia, Spain, Mexico, and Chile. We are leaders in the talk radios in most of the countries. And at the end, we are like the biggest audio producer on Spanish in the world. So here's the point. How can we help all these newsrooms with AI? That was the main point. So I would like to share with you today like 4 projects but the framework is very clear to us. We work in distribution and we work in voice. So how can we help the newsrooms in those different areas? In each area, we have different kind of projects. So I will start with distribution. I know it's not really very sexy thing. Voice is funnier, I know. But distribution is everything to us. I think that's really very interesting what Marianne was sharing with us, because she was talking about what and how this technology works. And what we are doing is taking these technologies and putting in all our daily workflow. At the end of the day, we have 24 hours audio, 7 days a day, 4 countries, 30 brands. We have a lot of audio. So we need to work like in frameworks and really have like a workflow very, very established. So I don't have time here anyway, so I keep on talking. So distribution. I'm sure that all of you may know that. Audio for us is like a black box. I don't know. We don't know what is going on inside an MP3. It's like that. I don't know what is told inside this MP3. When we do the distribution, we do the distribution with the audio, with a tag, with a title, but we are not really doing the distribution with everything that is inside. So this black box, to me, is like one of the biggest problems in audio distribution. So that is really very simple, and Marianne was talking about transcription, but transcription to me is changing really a lot. It's opening the box. So the way we have been working in radio stations in the last years, to me, is like, okay, we've been like for 100 years, but the last year, Cadena Ser, we celebrate 100 years, and Caracol 75 years. So we have the radio stations and people listening us in the cars and at home. That was quite simple. In the last 15 years, our main point was audio distribution. What does it mean, audio distribution? Quite simple. I take like this audio, digital, but it's the audio. It's like, again, these MP3 files, these audio files. And my main point was doing the distribution in a dynamic ecosystem. So it was, the distribution was for the audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple, and the rest. The distribution was for the audio was on the social media, and of course the distribution was for our own and operated products such as web, app, smart speakers. But to me now, it's like from last year and this year, it's a big change. It's okay, we are a radio station, okay, we need to do the distribution, but now we need to start thinking about the data and start working with the data. A couple of examples of why is data helping us on that. For things so easy as search engine, as indexing, as helping our own journalists to find their own content, helping our own journalists to find what's happening this morning, what an interview has said this morning, who says what. Now we can't do that in our radio stations. And then if we can do like other layers like personalization, audio recommendations. So it's okay, we need to do distribution, but we need to work with data. So in 2024, we came up with a project. We call it SODA, Sound of Data. It's like Julie Andrews met ChatGPT, more or less. And we start thinking on SODA. SODA, at the end, was the name that we bring not only to transcription, but to the whole, really, concept of all of that. So that was transcription. Of course, we need transcription. But after transcription, we need to create a layers of services, a layers of tools that our newsrooms need. Our main focus is productivity for our newsrooms and better metrics also. But 90% is helping newsrooms. So first was transcription, okay, but then we were thinking like on those layers. I'm gonna be like very specific of that, maybe too specific. It's very hands-on, but I think it's quite interesting because, I mean, it's something that every radio station could do. So let's try to think of these different layers. Well, the first layer, the first tools were like, okay, all these tools and services that can help me converting audio into data. The second one is more focusing on people that are writing, like the newspaper, like they're writing the digital newspaper. And the last one is like search engines. So let's go for the first one. Okay, we talk about transcription. Cool. Sorry, it's not beautiful. It's our CMS, we are changing the CMS, but it's not really very beautiful. This is our audio, well, multimedia, it's video and audio CMS right now. So we've been developing the thinking, defining and developing the project during 2024. And at the end of 2024, in November, December, we start using it on a very small area of the Cadena SER, which is the Spanish radio station. And we start doing first, like 1 year of historical transcription with Cadena SER. By now, we are doing the transcription with Google. I think that in a couple of months, or well, we are trying to go to OpenAI to Whisper, but just because of the dearization. I mean, Google, you can't have dearization, which means, do you know dearization? What is that? No, it's when you have the transcription and you have voice 1, voice 2, voice 1, voice 2. With Google, you have just like everything all together. So it's not so easy. So I think that for our journalists, for our newsrooms, that's really very important. So probably we'll change to Whisper. And I think it's cheaper, but I'm not sure. Then we are doing the transcription for 1 year. Now, what we are doing since December, we are doing the transcription of every program, every day of Cadena SER. Okay, we have the transcription in 5 languages. We are doing on Spanish, in English, and then we have 3 languages, Hispanic, like Basque, Catalonian, and Gallego. So you have the transcription in the 5 languages. What is the thing? That the transcription and also the audio automatic tagging is inside our system. Okay, so all of this, maybe you can now you can see this is manually, but every day this is done in a very automatic way. Okay, you don't have to do anything. If you go to see like one program, Hoy por Hoy, Cadena SER, you go and you already have your transcription done. This is everything is inside our CMS. We haven't published anything until now. Okay, this is when a journalist arrives, have the program has the transcription. You can move around the transcription. You can find inside the transcription. You can download the transcription, so we can use it as subtitle generation, and we can get summaries out of the transcription. So we have the transcription, and with the transcription, we have some kind of, you see here, summary around 800 words. Okay, so this is what is inside our not very beautiful CMS. Okay, so when the journalist arrives, has that. How can you see that? On a very way, like, okay. Those are the subtitles, but you have all the subtitles, so you can use for social media like in 2 seconds. You already have that. You have this called resume. This is our summarize. So nothing is published without a journalist in the middle. But when the journalist arrives to the CMS, has the transcription, have the summary, have the tags, have everything. So they take the summary if they want, and if they want, they can publish. It's 800 words, so we are thinking about SEO, last search. And then the last 2 ones is like rich snippet, and this, in that case, we are not thinking really on the users. Here, we are thinking on Google, really on indexation in Google, okay? If you see, we are like hiding our transcription in these 3 points. This is audio, and if you go to these 3 points, you can see there, like the transcription. So this is really for Google. We have that, and we have rich snippets also for Google. So that was like the first layer. The second layer. The second layer is like, okay, we have the transcription, and we have like all the content tagging. So now we are thinking about the people that is writing our website, our apps, and everything. So how can we help them? So we have developed a standalone Chrome extension. Why is that? That will be this one, MIA. We call it MIA, like Multimedia AI. And not really very beautiful, but It's an standalone Chrome extension because we have a lot of CMS. We have Arc, that is the Washington Post one. We have WordPress. We have like more than 50 websites. So we thought that it would be easier to do like something standalone, and then we do the communication with every CMS. So how does it work? Okay, so if I'm a journalist, I'm writing an article about Malaga. Blim, 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 Malaga. So I have Mia just on my side. And the two main keys, it's going to help me, the focus is enrich and relate. Enriquecer y relacionar. Enrich is going to give me like tags. If you are writing about Malaga, okay, maybe you can put this tags. Because I'm writing, it's going to give me like this lead generation. It's called entradilla. You can decide if it's on a formal way, on an informal way, if it's short or large. You have proportions coming from there, and you decide if you take it or not. And if you can see, also relacionar. To me, this is one of the main things. Why relacionar? Because now, for first time, we can do an audio suggestion. Okay, if I'm writing an article about Malaga, you can see there that I have like a lot of audios with Malaga. Why is that? Because I've been doing transcription for 1 year, because I have do the tagging for 1 year, so suddenly I'm writing about Malaga, and I have suggestions of articles. That's amazing for us, because really, these all 24 hours, 7 days a day of audio that we are doing, finally, we can put together. And if I have 2 or 3 programs or 3 news talking about Malaga for the last week or for a month or for 1 year, I can find here. It's like Mia is going to tell us, okay, you can use that, or you can find. You can look for it, you can go, you can, as you have seen, you can go through all the transcription, you can do a filtering, and that you can see here is one of the main things also for us, that is cross-linking. I mean, I can do like related articles and audio from Cadena Ser, which is my radio station, but also from El País or As, which means in our case, As is the biggest sports newspaper in Spain. It's really big. So if As is writing about the match, the Real Madrid match yesterday, and take all the audio coming from the program in the radio station talking about Real Madrid yesterday, we are doing cross-linking, and we are really giving all these audio files like a big, big, big distribution. So we are working with SIT. Well, okay, search engines, we're working with it. So we are working with that. We are really very happy, I have to say. The newsroom is very happy. We need to do a lot of job right now. But the KPIs, I mean, I told you at the beginning, our main focus was helping the productivity of the newsrooms and also some metrics. And it's working. I mean, cost, we have been doing our numbers 1 year ago, and now it's amazing, but it's like changing like every day. So the cost is below budget. That never happens. So that's really very good news. Productivity, you can see numbers. So the news, the volume of news with audio is increased 70% because it's so easy to get audios into the webs, into the articles. So that's amazing. If you can see the last metrics, for example, that's Google. But we are taking, without a rich snippet, it took us 15 days so to index for Google. Now we are doing it in 3 days. And you can see the traffic. For the news with audio, we grow like 90% in uniques and 47 in page views. So that's really interesting for us. Now we are going to do In Cadena Ser, we have 175 radio stations, so we are going to escalate this year for the whole radio stations, and we start at the same time working for our talk radios in Chile, Colombia, and Mexico. So I think I'm going to stop here. We do like this 2 minutes stretch, and I'll be here at the
So we're going to take a very, very short break now, because it's apparently the law in Athens that conferences have to have a short break to stretch your legs at about midday. So we're going to carry on in 5 minutes sharp with part 2 with Ana.
But voice is much funnier. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back. Here's Anna with part 2.
I'm back again. Okay. So we were here, still Ana Ormaechea, Prisa Media. And we're here, we're talking about distribution and voice, that we are doing like a bunch of projects, but inside this framework of voice and distribution. So now I'm going to talk about 3 projects that we are doing in voice, one bigger than the other, really, but I think due that they are so different, I want to talk a little about each one. So I'm going to talk about Verificadio, which is our AI tool for fact checking. I'm going to talk, and that we have developed inside. I'm going to talk about our automatic weather bulletins for Mexico, and I'm going to talk about ad generation. So I start with Verificaudio. I was talking last year about Verificaudio. I don't know, some of you know Verificaudio? Yeah, 1, 2, sorry. I go back. Because now we have, last year it was a POC, this year is a really very big project. So in Prisa Media we have been working with voice for the last 3 years. In fact, like 3 years ago we launched Victoria, the voice of soccer. That was like the first brand voice. We built a voice from scratch, synthetic voice, and that was the first voice that was on a sports program, like collaborating. So since this year, we were working with synthetic voices. And 2023, we realized that something was happening, and that the synthetic voice and cloning voice was really, really going very fast, super fast. And that at some point we realized that a pretty perfect clonation of voice, you could do it like in 2 minutes, and I bet you we can't decide if this voice is real or is a clonation voice. So you can do a clonation voice maybe for free or 20 euros. And we can't really decide if it's true or not. So realize that that was like a new reality, a new audio reality. And also realize that in 2024, like half of the population needs to go on elections. So in this new reality, we say, okay, we are the radio stations, we are like the bigger audio producer in the Spanish world. Now we have like this new reality, so we need to step and try to help our newsrooms with something like very especially that no one else is doing, that is fight against misinformation in this audio ecosystem. And it's like, okay, we need to help our newsrooms in this detection of fake voices. So we started and we built a POC, like a pilot, in 3 months. We built Verificadio, which is an AI tool developed by Prisa Media. It's an internal developing with some outside help. And the point is that enables audio verification and detection of deepfakes created by synthetic voices. So how we have done? Well, we were working with Google and with Minsight, because that was really critical. I mean, our tech teams, they are not used to work with LLMs. There were more tech teams focused on app developing, web developing, so that was a real challenge. But we knew that we need to do it something like very fast, like in 3 months, and then, okay, we'll do it better. So we had in 3 months, but now we have like this beautiful, our CMS was awful, but the Verificaudio is beautiful. So now we have these 2 AI models, Verificaudio. So you can see like modelo comparador y modelo identificador. You can use both or just one. It could be like a double fact checker or just one fact checker. How does it work? Okay. The comparison model, usually the deepfakes, audio deepfakes arise on social media, by social media, and usually are like politicians, some journalists, or some sports. Those are normally the, the, the most ones. So what happens is that we work in radio stations, and usually we have been interviewing those people. So we already have a real audio coming from these politicians. So what we do, we have in this comparison model, we have two audios. We have the audio that we already have and the suspicious one that arises from social media. So what does the model? It compares these deviations between the real and the suspicious. That was a development. We have done like a fine-tuning for a neural network. It was a neural network on English, so we have been working on adapting onto Spanish. So this is, if I upload the two audios, I upload the real audio and the suspicious audio, this is really the result. You can see there, first, it's a percentage. It's really, really, really very complicated to get like 100%. Usually we are working around the 85, 87 of probability of fidelidad. It's not so easy. If you can see, it's 78%, and they say, okay, that could be a different person, different voice. So that's the first AI model. The second one, identification model. This is like a machine learning model that we have developed from scratch. And what it says to us is he's like learning from their own physical features of the audio. So you can see here, in that case, okay, it's 70%, that's the whole thing. Again, it's usually it will be like 70, 80, 80%. It's really very weird if you can get like 100%. And if you see softwares that they tell you it's 100% yes or 100% no, I wouldn't be happy with that. But if you see, those are the atributos analizados. Those are the features of the audio. We are analyzing this. It's speed. I don't know all of them. Oh, it's small. Is speed. Can see. Well, características comunes. Well, there is like a lot of features, but we analyze all of that, all of those physical features of the audio, but every 10 seconds. What we realize, in fact, is that when there is a synthetic voice or a cloning voice, usually it's not the whole voice. Usually they cut a sentence and they mix with another, so they change the whole meaning of the sentence. So even though we have like the whole percentage of fidelity, you can go there and you can see like every 10 seconds what is really a synthetic voice, what we don't know at all, and the one that is real with these 7 attributes. So the thing here is that we are helping, again, newsrooms. We don't want someone, a journalist saying, okay, it's 100%, it's fake. No. I mean, this is one tool to help in a whole process of verification. Okay, so this is the reason they have all this information, so they can decide, okay, what is fake or is not, and that goes with the whole rest of verification process. So that's it. We started doing a POC. We started in Colombia. And then now we are using the whole product we are using in Spain, Mexico, and Chile. We have 2 people coming from any newsroom, ADN, Cadena SER, Caracol Radio, W Radio, and we have like this cross newsroom verification committee. So we see most of if there is like the same or different kind of deepfakes, or if they are coming more deepfakes from some country, or we can have like the whole pictures. This is what happened last year, in 2024. Happily, that really wasn't like a lot of deepfakes. 50 to me, it's already that we can be wrong 50 times. So it's important because at the end, like big brands, what do have is credibility. And just if we put really in antenna one fake audio, we can lose our credibility. So to me, 50 times that we could be just on the border, that's really important. So I'm happy that we have the tool and that we are using a lot. What kind of fake voices we receive? We have received a lot coming from Venezuela, and then from Colombia, Mexico, Argentina, and I should say not really a lot coming from Chile or Spain. Okay. And that's it. And we are like proud finalists to the INMA Awards. And I'm sure that we are going to win it. So if someone want to see Verificaudio, it's already, I mean, it's not opening. We are now, this week, opening to the whole company. But if you want to see, we can have a chat and I show you with some files, okay? So going back to the other projects, I'm going very fast to the other 2. Automatic weather news bulletin. This is small, but I like this project because it's small, but it's beautiful. So our team in Mexico, in Los 40, Mexico, which is the most famous music radio station, they call us and they told us our competitors, they have like every 15 minutes, they have a bulletin on weather and they have a bulletin on traffic. And we don't have people to fight against that. And people here really like this information. And we say, okay, let's try. Why don't we have AI, so technology is there, let's try. So really the project was quite easy. We see that was quite easy to develop, so we say we are going to develop inside what we need. A very simple integration with a weather API. In that case was the government weather API. So coming from that, we build like kind of template generation, like some sentences, like with the degrees and it's cloudy or it's not cloudy. We have like 4 or 5 kind of templates. We have this integration, the templates integrated in our CMS and the integration with 11 Labs API. In fact, we have done that in a couple of weeks. We have spent much more time deciding the voice, which is important, it's radio station. So we do clonation, we do synthetic voice. Let's go back to 11 Labs to see if we like or we don't like these voices. It's like all our friends in Mexico, everyone deciding about that. So at the end, that's it. We decided, I think that we have Genaro, is the voice of Genaro, and that's it. I mean, like, the process is done. It took us like 15 days, and now we can do, if we want, like, traffic or bulletins or whatever. The only thing is that someone has to take this and put it on antenna. What we are not doing is like same that in my first example on soda. Nothing is going out with a person saying yes or no. I put this summary. I was in the distribution project. It's someone that decided when I use this summary. In that case, someone listened the bulletin and says, okay, antenna. That's the only difference, because we need that. Again, we have big brands and we can't do like something that is against our credibility. Maybe you don't understand, but I like.
El clima en los 40.
En Ciudad de México, hoy, jueves 6 de febrero, se esperan temperaturas mínimas de 13 grados y máximas de 23 grados. El cielo estará despejado, con una velocidad de viento de 8 kilómetros por hora. No se esperan lluvias.
Los 40.
That's it. Simple. I love simple projects. And the last one, same. That was simple, but again, in that case, instead of helping the newsroom, we are helping our commercial team. We are in Spain. Cadena Ser is 175 radio stations, which is a lot. And they are like very different. We have like big radio stations, small radio stations. We have radio stations where there is 20 people working, and we have radio stations when there is 2 people working. So this is a challenge for us. And in some case, in the smaller radio stations, it's like you have the commercial is the one that it has to think the copy and to write and to sometimes like even talk and record the copy. So we believe that it was important to use like a tool to helping them, but a tool that is different for each of the of this kind of radio stations. So we see that there were some available tools or companies in the market that they were doing and they were doing well. So we decided, okay, we don't need to develop that. So we start talking with our friends of AudioStack. And what we are doing with them is generating copy, integrate the copy with market voices, with synthetic voices, and they produce like in 2-3 minutes, you already have an advertising. So this is easy, but we have a lot of challenges. So in one hand, it's like, okay, some people, like a small radio station says, wow, thank you for helping me. Thank you, because I don't have time for everything. But in the other hand, you have people telling, okay, maybe if you use this voice, you are not going to use my voice anytime. And it's not. For us, it's a tool for helping them. That's it. That's the only point. But, well, I can understand that we need to work together. And then there is a very different usage depending on the size of the station. So we need to try to understand them and doing like very personalized the using. So some of them, they use just like a draft creation and go outside to sell, like selling draft creation. Others use all the full generation. Others use only the voice, because it's very hard to find good voices. So we are now trying to understand these different kind of challenges. And then the last 2 challenges is how we say our clients that we are going to build your ad with AI. And the second, how we say to our listeners that this ad is done with AI. So if you have solution for that and very clear, I ask for help now.
Hoy por hoy Cantabria viaja hasta Mazcuerras. El municipio es historia, patrimonio, ganadería, cultura y arte. Este viernes, desde las 12:20, te contamos las novedades que prepara Mazcuerras para celebrar la 10ª edición de Aselart, el encuentro de arte rural que se ha convertido en una referencia nacional. Hoy por hoy Cantabria desde Mazcuerras.
That's it. You see, it's simple but effective. So thank you so much for your help. My point was to try to be very helpful and hands-on. Thank you. Questions.
Thank you very much, Ana. No time for questions again. We're running slightly late, but again, Ana will be around today and beyond if you want to catch up with her to find out more about some of those fascinating real-world cases at Prisa Media in Spain and other Spanish-speaking countries. Nearly lunchtime. Good news, we are running slightly late, but I'll keep this very brief to introduce our next speakers. They are from the